Hi everyone, it's Colleen. Welcome to my kitchen. It is finally soup season here in Colorado, and gosh, it felt like it took a long time to get here, but well worth the wait because I think right now in your fridge or freezer, you probably have the perfect ingredients to make one of my favorite winter soups. All right, we just wrapped up Thanksgiving and Christmas, and that means you probably have a ham bone, right, in your freezer. I'm hoping that you froze it after Thanksgiving or Christmas, and now get it out of the freezer. It's time to make just an awesome soup right here in your Instapot or crock pot. So today we are gonna make my spicy pinto bean ham bone soup. The broth in this is just going to be spicy and it's gonna warm you up and you're gonna keep going back for more and more. So here we go. I'm on my soup setting here on my Instapot and I have some olive oil in there right now. So what I'm starting with is just some white onion, really simple. Just dice that up and it's gonna go right in there. Why do I love this soup? A lot of pantry staples, guys, that are going in there. Oopsies, I grabbed some rosemary. It's not time for you yet, little guy. You'll get your moment in the sun in just a little bit. All right, throwing the last bit of onion in there. I always keep these on hand because they work for so many awesome recipes. Stirring that up right over there. Now, while these onions are sauteing, I'm gonna add in the spices. I love adding in the spices early on because then they can toast and the olive oil and the onions really brings out the flavor of everything we're using here. What am I putting in my soup? Cumin, ground thyme, some garlic powder, and some red pepper flakes. If you have fresh ingredients, I'll add that in the recipe for you too. You can add those in as well. These are just things that I had in my spice cabinet and I thought I'm gonna add them to the soup. So let's sprinkle these on in. Oh, and that fragrance is just gonna be amazing. So you're just gonna stir this around, toast up those spices just a little bit. Now guys, if you always have that ham bone and you make split pea soup out of it, I give you my blessing. Go ahead, make your famous split pea soup. Those soups are so good every time, but in this house we're due for a little bit of change. So that's why I started testing a few other recipes out to see what really stuck with the family, and this one totally did. All right, next I'm adding in some Colorado pinto beans. These are dry pinto beans that I soaked in water overnight. They really plumped up, and I'm adding this whole thing into there. It's a pound, and it's gonna go so well with this soup, especially when you talk about ham and pinto beans going together. It's a really happy marriage in any soup, if you ask me. So pouring that in, gonna stir that around. The broth is already coming together, and now the moment for your ham bone to shine. This is mine. I had it in the freezer. I just took it out a couple minutes ago. So partly frozen, but it's okay because it's gonna be in this Instapot for about 3 to 4 hours. So there we go. We're putting that right in there. A lot of good ham still left on here, and that's just gonna fall off that bone. And when the soup is over, I'm gonna cut it up into little chunks if I have to, and then kind of put that on the top of the soup or kind of mix it in the soup as well. Next up, we're doing some vegetable stock. And so what we're doing here is we're just gonna cover this entire ham bone until it reaches the top. So I'm gonna have to get some more here, which is fine, but I just want you to see the richness of the color of the veggie stock. So there we go. We're gonna keep pouring in veggie stock until that ham bone is covered. And then, how simple is this? Oh, I love fresh rosemary. It's just so earthy and it just adds a pop of color and flavor every time. There we go. That's it. I'm gonna throw that in there. Keep on adding in the veggie stock, and then we're gonna simmer this in the Instapot on the soup setting for about 3 to 4 hours. All the ham's gonna fall off the bone. Those pinto beans gonna plump up with all those spices and kind of fill up those beans with so much flavor. And then I love to serve this soup with some crispy kale, crisp bacon right on top. This, guys, is definitely a winter warmer. So after the next snowstorm, make the soup, make it now, or just freeze it. This freezes really well too, so you can just defrost a bowl and enjoy it right away. Hope you enjoy it. I'll share this recipe with you at COPork.org and follow us on social media at Colorado Pork Producers Council.